Hi guys! Welcome to the kit breakdown. I know a lot of you might have gotten this cute little box without maybe much of an explanation of what was inside of it. So, guess what we're going to do? We are going to break down the kit. And I'm going to show you the best ways to demo the products and hopefully give you a little bit more insight on what the benefits of the products are that are inside the kit. First, I'm going to start with the basic $99 kit, and then I'm going to take you outside of that box and expand it into what came or would come in your booster packs that many of you did get, that came with the, that comes with your kit. So we've got the pretty box. Yay! I love the top of it. Mine got a little bit busted up, but it says, "Hello, I'm here. Now open me," which is great. But what happens when you open this box, and what's in it, and what do you do with it, and how do you tell people about the products? So that's what I'm going to do, and also what business supplies are in here, and what should you do with those. Hi Janice, love you. Hi Jennifer. So I'm going to break this stuff down and kind of walk you through it so that this is a video that we'll upload it to YouTube if anybody needs a link to it to send out to a new pro, or you yourself just don't know what to do with this stuff. No problem. I'm going to walk you through your kit, okay? So first and foremost, there are a lot of business supplies that come in it. Your order forms, your go-to guide, which we're going to talk about in a little bit more detail here in a minute, your brochures, your catalogs, your Join Our Tribe and Hostess guides, stacking it all up here on my desk, invitations, talk about the power of invitations, and then we've got this pile of products in here too. So first and foremost, let's talk about the products, and then I'll walk you through the business supplies. Hi Holly, I see you on there. I see you. Miss you. So let's talk about let's talk first and foremost about the Road Trip. Okay, the Road Trip is one of my favorite products and one of my top sellers, probably because it is one of my favorite products. Right now we're just walking through the $99 kit. However, if you don't know how to properly demo this for people, it just looks like a flashlight. So it's important that it's charged. So when you take it out of its package, it's got that little cord with it. It has to have an adapter, like, hold on, everything's piling up on my desk. Seriously. It has to have an adapter like this to plug into, or like a car adapter thingy to make that work. Hi Connie, hi Holly. So that has to be, and then there's a little cord and it plugs in right here. You do need to take this out of its package and charge it. You would be surprised the number of people who don't take their products out of packages. Customers need to touch, feel, hold, and understand these products, and so do you before you can sell them, okay? So the Road Trip, features of the Road Trip. And I did this as a live because this was our last safety subscription, which I loved. First and foremost, flashlight has 3 settings: high beam, low beam, and strobe. I don't like to do that in people's faces for very long. Okay, the strobe can get attention from a long distance, which is important if you're ever broken down. The high beam is important for a really super bright flashlight. The low beam will make the battery last a lot longer. It can be charged in the car. It does charge just by lifting this little thingy on the side, and you can charge it. And because it is a power bank, if this is fully charged, all you need to do is take that little cord, plug it in, and you can reverse the charge sort of, and it can charge another device. That's the reason why there's a big hole and a little hole, okay? Not really complicated here. I'm going to keep it really simple. Big hole, little hole. Big hole charges it. Little hole takes the battery out of it, the juice out of it, and takes it to another device. Awesome, right? So that's how it charges. You do want to give it a good charge. So as soon as you get your kit, first thing you should do is take your Road Trip out of its package and go charge it, okay? If you do not have a USB thingy, they're like $1. Seriously, checkouts at almost any store if you do not have the other adapter. But seriously, how are you charging your cell phone if you don't have one of those little adapter thingies? I mean, really, okay? So the same thing, and the same cord that charges your phone if you are an Android person like me, which is a micro USB, which is a standard micro USB, which is available anywhere, is the same thing that charges both our Road Trip as well as our stun guns. So super easy. Now, the flashlight feature is great, but people want to assume that it sort of stops there, but it doesn't. If you want to demo to your customers how the Road Trip works, the best thing I can tell you is to go find a small block of wood. And people have tried these in a lot of different ways. You can use the adapter to your stun gun. That's true, they can use the adapter to the stun gun. The only thing is if you didn't get a stun gun in your basic kit, that adapter's not with it. So we're talking about the basic kit right now. But good point, Connie. So the way that I demo the Road Trip to customers so that they can do it, and do not let your customers put their thumb on this thing and push, because it punches out a sharp little metal object and it will put a hole in their thumb. I'm just saying, okay? Sometimes I think the most dangerous thing at a party is the Road Trip punch, because people put their finger on this and push. And guess what? It ejects a sharp metal object that goes straight into their thumb and makes a hole. Don't do it yourself, and don't let your customers do it, okay? So, block of wood, however, is fabulous because it creates that same, so this is just like part of a window, like a picture frame that my kids had ripped off of one of our bulletin boards. So literally just put it on a piece of wood, push. That click sends out a little punch that puts a hole in the wood, and your customers can do that till they're blue in the face. It proves that the punch works over and over again. And you can talk about how this breaks out a window. All they have to do is place this on the glass window. I'm not doing it to my phone, but put this on the glass window, push it and punch, and it will shatter their car window. And then they can just use the flashlight head to clear the glass out of the way, but it literally will shatter the window. I've seen videos of it done. They did it at conference one year from stage so that you could see, shatters the window out. Perfect, so easy. But you kind of got to show them how easy it is. Punch, click, punch, click, punch, click. That's the Road Trip. That's the glass, pneumatic glass punch, okay? Breaks out car windows. This right here is your seatbelt cutter. All you have to do is place it on your seatbelt, saw through, and you're out of your seatbelt. These should not go in your glove box. These should be like in a center console. For me, in my Durango, it sits down in the door and wedges down hard into the door so that if my vehicle were to flip, roll, be in an accident, it's right there at my fingertips and it stays where it's supposed to. It's not flying around in the car. And it's not in the glove box, because the truth of it is, the first thing that happens to you when you are hit from the rear or you're in an accident is your seatbelt will usually lock up. Sometimes that seatbelt locking up can actually strangle you. So it's really important that you have access to get to this to cut the seatbelt. That doesn't require you to, like, imagine you're stuck to your seat. Seatbelt as firm as it can across you. What can you reach? What can you get to? Thing is that you are able to get to the Road Trip to be able to cut through that seatbelt. Another really nice thing about the Road Trip is, like, my kids used to sit in 5-point harnesses when they were younger. So my mother-in-law had arthritic hands, and I was always worried whether or not she would be able to unbuckle those buckles, which can be hard enough to do, even not in an emergency. So the first thing I did when I joined Damsel, and our Road Trip has gone through several incarnations since then, was to put one of these in their vehicle, because that way if she ever needed to get the kids out in a hurry, all she had to do was slash through the belts with it and not have to, and it's protected. So you can play it up against skin and do that where a knife or scissors, if someone's thrashing around, can be quite difficult. So there's a reason for a seatbelt cutter and there's a reason for a glass punch. You cannot just break out your car window. People have tried. There's videos all over YouTube, okay? You can't just break it out. So it's important to have the right tool available. That's the reason why this is one of my top sellers. As a scuba instructor, the one thing I can also tell you is that there's this law of pressure of water. So one of the big selling points for this is if someone's vehicle was to go into water, everybody just thinks, oh, I'll just open my car door. It doesn't work that way. By the time you have, with a square area of most car doors, by the time 1 inch of water covers the bottom edge of a door, there is enough pounds per square inch of pressure against that door that the door can no longer be opened. Most people don't think about this, but this is the law of pressure in water. So the only alternative, if you can't get your windows down, if your car is submerged and it starts to sink, is to actually wait until your entire car has filled with water before you are able to equalize the pressure on both sides of that door and open the door. What most people don't think about is that a lot of cars have trunks, and that trunk holds a lot of air. So not only is your compartment need to be filled, but the trunk needs to be filled as well because of the way that a car sinks. There's some great videos that Mythbusters did about a sinking car and about how to escape from a sinking car. So this is like a continuing education project. If you want to see the realities of that, go Google the Mythbusters, like car submerged in water. It's on YouTube, and you can watch the dynamic of how that works and why having a glass punch to be able to escape your vehicle is super important, okay? So being that I understand all of this, I know how to talk to people about why they need to have a window breaker in their car and why a seatbelt cutter is so important. So when you understand the dynamics of a vehicle and the emergencies that people might face in their cars, you understand why this is important, that every car in America should have a road trip in it, okay? Seatbelt cutter and glass punch. To me, these are the two most important parts of this tool. Every car in America should have these things in their car, period. Now, it also has a magnetic head, so it literally, like I usually just pick up like a keychain with it or something, and I pick up some metal. Let me see if it'll actually stick to, let's see, I've got one of the safes here. So there's the Sassy safe stuck to it with the magnet. There you go. So depending on what products you have around, you can actually stick them to products to help that happen. Why are the magnets important? The magnets are important because if you were to break down, this thing also has a flashing beacon in it. So the flashing beacon can alert someone. A lot of times if your car breaks down, your battery's dead, you have no option to put on hazard lights. So having a beacon, or like I always like to say to my customers at parties, let's say you break down in the Walmart parking lot. You don't have to say, honey, I'm in aisle C, row 6. You can literally just say, I have the red flashing light on top of my car, baby, and if it's windy, the magnets keep it stuck to your vehicle and it won't blow off. You can even stick it to the side of your car, okay? Pretty magic tool, right? And it has that super loud alarm in it, which can also alert people that there's a problem. If they can't see you, they can hear you. So if I were broken down in the blinding blizzard or something like that, I would have the alarm going and I would have the flashing beacon going so that I could alert somebody that I needed assistance. Stuck right to my car. Pretty magic tool, right? It does a lot of things, and they're $35. At Christmas time, this should be an absolute top seller, but here's the thing, like specific to right now, Mother's Day is coming up, graduation is coming up, all of these things that people would want something like this as a gift. But just forget gifts. Every person at every party should be buying a road trip from you. Who would not need all of these amazing tools that your road trip provides? Okay? So that is the road trip that comes in your kit. This is one of my absolute top selling items. But why is it my top selling item? Because I understand it, I understand the need for it, and I understand why it benefits someone else. So that is the road trip car tool. Hey, Carolyn. Okay. So that is the road trip. Let's dig deeper into this box. And a piece of wood, like I said, is great for demoing it because people need to understand how easy it is to use. Just find any block of wood. Just do not use your hostess's table. Do not use her coffee table, and don't let guests do that because it will put a hole in anything you punch it on, including your fingers. That's the one thing, word of caution with that. Okay, so that's the road trip. Let's move on to the step off because this is the basic $99 kit. Step off. Take it out of the package. People will not understand what it does if you leave your products in the package. Take it out of the package so you can demo it. On the bottom of it, there's a little screw, and this takes, oh crap. How many batteries does it take, guys? It's been a while since I had mine open. I think it takes 2 or, this is a fail. This is a video fail. Somebody help me out. How many batteries does the step off take? 2? AAAs? AA's? I mean, I literally haven't had this off. The battery lasts forever in these things. I haven't had it off since I got it. 2. Thank you. 2. 2. Guys, 2 brand new people just beat you to the answer, probably because they just had to put batteries in their step-offs. But that's okay. Good job, guys. All right, so good job, Helen. Good job, Janice. So it takes 2 AA, AAA. Guys, help me out. 2 AA. Got it. You guys rock. Okay, so 2 AA batteries. What is a step-off good for? Personally, I won't sleep in a hotel room without one. I set it right by the door if somebody tries to come in. If you have it on, okay, so the buttons on the side, H and L, this is for sensitivity, not for the sound of the alarm. People misunderstand that. So on low sensitivity, the pedal has to be pressed in order for it to go off. On high sensitivity, it's more like a motion sensor, and all you have to do is bump it, and it goes off, okay? So setting this at a hotel room door, you could use either, depends on the door and how much noise and vibration there would be in the hotel. If you are next to some really noisy people, or you're on an exterior thing where there's lots of people clumping by, I wouldn't set it on high. Set it on low, okay? What happens is it has to be under any door that has a, the door has to come open, because if the door goes out, it won't push the alarm down. Now, I once stayed at a condo in Vegas that, sorry, don't happen. I once stayed at a condo in Vegas that had a patio door. I had these at the exit doors because, like I said, I won't go on vacation and sleep in a strange place without one of these sitting at the door. But we were in a condo in Vegas that had an exterior patio door, and the door swung out. I was livid because I'm like, my step off won't work here. What am I going to do? So literally, in order to be able to sleep peacefully, because it was a ground floor condo, what I did was I actually just set this inside the door and arranged the chair so that if anybody opened that door and tried to come through, they would accidentally like step on it or bump it so that it would go off. So it can work, but it wouldn't wedge to keep the door from opening. So what happens is you have it set to low, the door swings in. If that door swings in, you set it like where the doorknob is, door swings in, the door hits the alarm, pushes the pedal, sets off the alarm, drives it sort of down into the floor a little bit, wedges it in the door, and then the door cannot open. Now, this is not a perfect system because it depends on how high the threshold is, depends on what type of flooring it is. If it's a real high shag carpet, it might slide. So you kind of like, I did a warrior workshop a little over a week ago, and the hostess had a door right there, and I'm like, sweet, I'm just going to show them how it works. She had a pretty high pile shag carpet, and the alarm just slid. One alternative to that is to put a little bit of Velcro on the bottom of it, like the scratchy kind of the Velcro, and it'll actually stick to the carpet a little bit better if that's the type of environment she's planning to use it on. This is probably the number one product that I have to like talk my customers through because it depends on what they're sitting it on as to whether or not it's going to truly catch and wedge, okay? One of the things that I love the most about our updated Step Off is that it's got this suction cup on it, and a lot of people are confused by that. You click this down, put up against a window. So if a window is one of the ones that slides up, spring is coming. People like to have that breeze coming in their windows, okay? And summer's coming too. I'll walk you through that in a second. People like to have a breeze coming through their window, but they don't want somebody to be able to open the window the rest of the way because an open window is a porthole into your home. So by suction, you open the window enough that somebody can't get through, suction cup this above the window. You know, there's the two ledges where the window meets. So you're going to suction cup it there. And if somebody tries to push that window open, the window sliding open will catch the alarm, set it off, and wedge it into the window so that window can't be pushed open any further. It's really an inexpensive way to secure a window. For people in the summer who have air conditioning units in their windows and they have it open and the window just sitting on it, because very few people actually screw the air conditioners in where they're supposed to be to secure it. You can also have a window air conditioning unit in, set this on the window above that, and if somebody tries to push the window open that little bit further to knock out the air conditioning unit, which is the way a lot of bad guys get into houses, this will set off the alarm wedge and keep somebody from entering the home and set off an alarm to let you know that there's an issue. I love the step-offs. And again, another one of my top sellers because I love them so much and I understand the benefits and the features of the product. And yes, it does have a light built in so that you can have a little glowing light there too. This would be super important. When I first started with Damsel, my ex-in-laws, who I call my in-loves, she's not my mother-in-law anymore. She's my mother-in-love because I kept them and I love them to death. But they travel a lot in hotels and they don't always stay in the nicest ones. And so I gave them one to travel with. It was a travel gift or a thank you gift or something, but I gave them one. And my father-in-law is a really big guy, but he's deaf. And they never bothered to put batteries in it. They set it at the door every night, and they just were using it as a wedge to keep people out. Well, one morning he got up and dorm rooms. That's a great idea, Mariah. Really great idea. Dorm rooms. I'll give you more ideas here in a second because there's a million and one uses for these things. But he sat it at the door and he tried to go out the next morning, but he forgot that the alarm was there. And he pulled and he pulled and he pulled. The alarm didn't go off because he didn't have batteries in it. And he ended up actually damaging the hotel room door because he forgot that the wedge was there. That's how much power these things can have. He ended up damaging the door trying to get out because he couldn't figure out why the door wouldn't open because he'd forgotten he sat it there. So these are fabulous, yes, for dorm rooms. They're fabulous for interior rooms as well. You guys may or may not know that I'm a major advocate for domestic violence victims. And I personally know firsthand that when you're having domestic violence in a home, that sometimes just getting a good night's sleep when things are very hostile in the home can be a challenge because you don't feel safe to fall asleep, especially if that person is still in the home. So a lot of the time, I do advocate these for domestic violence victims because you can secure a bedroom door inside a home, know that the alarm is going to go off, know that the door is going to catch, and if your abuser tries to come into the room, it sets off an alarm that lets you know that they've entered the room and it wakes you up. It's nice for a woman to be able to secure her bedroom and maybe bring her kids into bed with her and be able to rest and sleep, because when you're in a domestic violence situation, sometimes just getting that rest, if things have been to high tension in the home, can be very good. I actually have a few people that have purchased these specifically for their bathroom doors. And it took me, the first person that suggested it to me, I went, what? And she's like, I've watched too many of those movies, like, what is it, Bates Motel or whatever, like the shower curtain. People freak out when they're in the shower and they're like, I just want to know that if anybody comes into the bathroom while I'm showering, that it's going to set off an alarm. I'm like, great idea. Whatever your fear is, man, we got an answer for you. This is great, okay? And sometimes I bring that up at parties and I'm surprised at the number of people, warrior workshops, power hours, keep me on the right language. I'm surprised at the number of people that go, oh my gosh, yeah, that would be great. I just want one for my bathroom door. And if you're a mom, believe me, sometimes just knowing that your bathroom door is secured when you're showering or when you just need some alone time away from your family can be a really good thing too. So that's the step off. You can think of 101 uses. We have another customer that bought some of these to stick under the wheels of her four-wheeler when they were camping, so that if anybody tried to roll it, it would roll onto the alarms, and the alarms would go off, potentially scare somebody, or potentially, like awaken them to let them know there was a bad situation with their four-wheelers being stolen, or really any kind of a vehicle. I will tell a story real quick before I get off this product, which I know I'm droning on, but back when I was married, my ex took one of these to a hotel room. He used to travel a lot on the road for his work. And at 2 a.m, 2 guys tried to break into his hotel room. He had this sitting at the door, and as soon as those guys tried to get into the room, set off the alarm, and they didn't even make it through where it was unlatched. As soon as the door started to push across that alarm, the alarm went off. He was awake and alerted there was a problem, and he went down to he got to the door in time to see 2 guys going around the hotel room, like the corridor. So he knew there was at least 2 guys trying to break into his hotel room at 2 a.m, and he was in Baltimore at that time. So it does work. And usually, like at a hotel room door, the neat thing is criminals are like cockroaches. They hate light, they hate sound. So if you have something like this sitting there, and even if it's only the alarm part that gets triggered, they don't even test the wedge part. No one's expecting an alarm to go off on a hotel room. Nobody's expecting an alarm to go off on a window. This is something that disrupts the OODA loop, which we're going to talk about warrior workshops and OODA loop in a separate video. But when you remember this, it's something that disrupts the OODA loop. It makes it where, oh gosh, I wasn't planning for that, is what is going through the criminal's mind. And then they have a chance, and usually they just abort whatever they're doing because they weren't planning on sound going off. They weren't counting on that kind of a thing. So it's really powerful. The only thing about camper doors specifically is that they usually go out. So I do have a few customers that have purchased these for camper doors, but unfortunately it's almost the same thing as my exterior door on that hotel room at that condo I stayed at, where it's went out. And so I just would set, the alarm can be set right in there, so because somebody coming through a camper door is definitely going to bump it or step on it, and it's at least going to send off the sound, but it wouldn't stop the door from opening. But if you're looking to put it under the wheels, fabulous. Okay? Step off alarm. Multiple uses, great. I'd love to hear more of the ideas that you guys have for them or how you've used them. But great, very versatile product that can do a lot and add a lot of security to someone's home. Okay? Step off alarm. All right. Let's dig into this box. While we're talking about things that make noise, let's talk about the Hollas. Holla his and holla hers. I love these little alarms. I actually put these on my kids whenever we go out. These little things are great for clipping on and off of backpacks. You can clip them right to belt loops. My kids are trained with theirs. They know that, so we go to the Apple Butter Festival. We go to Reds games. We go to Cedar Point. I like to get out and do things with my kids, but I don't like the thought of them getting separated from me in a crowd. I'm a single mom going out and doing these things with my babies, and even if it wasn't just me, that fast a kid can disappear in a crowd. So I love them. I've taught my kids how to switch the alarm. This will cut through a crowd the way mom won't. And it also lets, again, criminal isn't counting on a kid setting off an alarm. first thing that usually happens when a kid is grabbed is they cover their mouth so they can't scream. Well, if they can't scream, and they should still have a hand free to be able to switch that alarm off to let somebody know there's a problem. That right there is like hot potato to a bad guy. He's like, whoa, this kid's got noise going off. I don't want anything to do with this, and they're gone. A lot of my older customers like to have these too. Just a way to set off the alarm. And it's always, always, always good to have a flashlight. So the hollers are fabulous. And if have somebody that does a lot of travel, these can go through TSA where a lot of our other defensive products can't. And if you're talking about somebody that travels, this and this together, great security. I mean, not a pepper spray Kubotan or anything like that, but a great security duo for people who travel, especially if it's like by plane or cruise ships or things like that where some of our other products aren't allowed to go. So love the holler his and holler hers. Let's talk about Kubotans for a second. Sock it to me. You get 2 of them in the box, okay? 2? Yeah, 2. So you get 2 of these in the kit. The best way that I can tell you to demo these, besides beating on a Bob box, which is really powerful, is to just take it and tap it on the back of your hand. Even a light tap on the bony part of the back of your hand, and you can feel the power of this tool. That's how I demo these to people when I don't have a Bob box, or if I'm at an event where I'm just like, well, they go, what's that? I go, tap it. Well, they go, ow. I'm like, yeah, I know, right? You can feel that. Adds a lot of power to a strike. Number one way that women are usually attacked is in a parking lot, usually from behind and completely unaware because our situational awareness is terrible. Hopefully, as Danzel's doing warrior workshops, we're going to help people to improve that. But usually, if they can just have something like this in their hand, add a lot of power to a strike and tell somebody to go away. Really, pepper spray is the number one tool carried by women for their personal safety. However, this really should be, because this handles more situations and gives them more options than pepper spray. Unfortunately, this can only be used up close when there's contact, right? When somebody's too close, because it's a striking tool. We want our customers and everybody out there to be situationally aware to the point where nobody's getting that close to them. But if they do get that close, at least make them pay for it. Bam. Really powerful little keychain. Every woman in America, again, should probably be carrying one of these. But they will not go through TSA. So if you have customers that are flying, they can be checked. No problem. But they cannot carry them on an airplane, and they cannot take them on a cruise ship. Okay? They will be taken away from them. And there's a good chance they might get strip searched in the process. So if they're not feeling super frisky, don't have them carry on their Kubotan. Make sure that they know that this, as well as pepper sprays and Kubotans, should be checked in their luggage. And if they say, I don't check luggage, I always say, well, maybe you should. That way you can take your personal protection items with you. Just a matter of what's your priority. Saving $25 on a bag or having your safety stuff with you. Okay. So what else we got in here? Oh, right now it is the black, Janie's Gotta. Brain went dead for a second. It is the black Janie's Gotta. If you are not a gun girl, it can be kind of hard to sell concealed carry purses because gun people speak their own language. They just really do. This is a beautiful leather. Yes, it's a leather purse that you can sell to anyone. They can put their stun gun down in here or whatever. But it comes with the Velcro holster system that's universal to all of our purses. And I'm going to walk you through kind of how this works with a little dummy gun here. This is not a real gun, just a little fake. This is a Glock 42, fake one. And it's important that you know how the gun goes into the holster like that. And then there's a breakaway strip that attaches, that keeps the gun secure into the back of the purse. So that breaks away should they need to draw, but it keeps the gun in the holster, which also provides a trigger guard. That means that you can't pull the trigger. Super important as well. Okay, so that's how the holster system works. If you are not a gun girl, I mean, I see it posted on the team page all the time, like what fits, what fits. There's different types of guns. Some are more home defense, general, firearms, and then there was what's more considered a concealed carry type weapon. Concealed carry guns are typically smaller. You cannot stick a rifle in these things, guys. And if they've got a big gun, they're going to have challenges where they're going to find a purse to fit it, okay? But the holster goes down in. The Velcro tries to catch, so you really want to wedge it down in there. What I love about the Janie is that it is a top draw purse. That means that the zipper goes across it. And when they're drawing the firearm out, it would be from the top. The Velcro on the Velcro is designed to keep the holster in place in the bag and for the gun to break free. So that's an important part of a concealed carry purse. If you have more questions on concealed carry purses and specifics, you will have people who come up to you and say, you should never put a gun in a purse. And I always say, if you're not a woman carrying, don't talk to me, because I do this. I do prefer to carry on body, but if I'm in an outfit where my gun is the only place that I can carry it that day, I do put it in my purse, because to me, it's more important that it's with me than I leave it at home because it won't go in my outfit. There are a lot of different holster options, but a lot of women do conceal and carry in their purses, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. They do need to be diligent, proper gun. They need to keep the right perspective. They can't just let their kids play with their purse. No. They can't just leave it lay anywhere. No, there's a gun in it. Seriously. So just concealed carry, top draw pocket on the Janie. If you have questions specific to the concealed carry purses, it's probably best we talk one-on-one. I am a gun girl. I do carry. I do know a lot about this stuff, and I know a lot of you are too. So what a great purse, huge pocket, huge front slit. Women love to touch, feel, hold, and play with these things. Get it out of its wrapper and let them put it on their body, wear it, look in a mirror, adjust it. I love that this purse is a crossbody, but it can also be, the strap can be short and it can be carried under the arm. Personally, I'm a big fan of a crossbody purse because it almost becomes a wearable holster that you can just keep on as a part of your body. I did a video on my YouTube channel that's a public video that covers the purses in a little bit more detail, and I have the Janie on there if that's something you guys want to see. These little things on the side are pockets. If they are a semi-auto girl, not a revolver, spare magazines fit down in these side pockets too, which is really great. I love this purse. This is one of my absolute favorites. Okay, and that comes in your kit. Yay! So you can carry it around, and people will go, oh my gosh, I love your purse, and you can say, oh, that's great, because I sell them. Fun, right? All right, so let's cover the last two things that come as a part of the basic kit. And then we'll move on to the booster packages. So these are your Safe Heart books. And this is this is an old dated version of my parents' guide. I actually sold the one that I had, and I'm waiting for my replacement to come in. That's the new version of this parents' guide. Parents' guide is something that you can sell to parents. It educates them on how to keep their kids safe. The best way that I can tell you to talk about Safe Hearts is that 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys in the United States will be sexually assaulted before they are the age of 18 years old. This is a hard topic to talk about, guys, right? But what we do a great job of as parents and as communities is teaching children stranger danger. What we do not do a great job of is teaching them about the tricky people that are in their lives that could be trusted or should be able to be trusted. And that's where 95% of assaults on children come from someone that's in their life that they or their family trusts. To me, that's the scariest part of trying to raise a child in this world. It's not always the strangers. It's the tricky people that we should be able to trust. A lot of times it's a family member, guys, and nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody really wants to think about it. But through Safe Hearts, what we can do is actually educate the family on what to be looking for, how to educate their kids, how to talk to their kids, how to open up the lines of communication. And the books just do a great job of that. You get 2 books, and I don't know which ones specifically are coming in the kit right now, but you get 2 of the Safe Hearts books. If you want to know what the books are about, the Safe Hearts page in the catalog gives a detailed description of each one of the storybooks and tells you what each one is about and what we as a company are trying to help them educate their kids on. I do this entire line with my kids, guys. I love it. The kids love it. We play the game. We read the storybooks. They've got the lunch boxes. They have the badges. They have the dishes. They love Safe Hearts, okay? So Safe Hearts is a great product line, and you have a taste of it in your kit. If you have small children in your life, sitting down and reading the books to them is a great way for you and them to be introduced to Safe Hearts. And even if only every damsel family in America use this, we have customers that are absolutely in love with it. This is a much needed product in the world that we live in. Here in my local community, we've had a band instructor. We've had a coach. We've had different people that are tricky people that are part of school systems become very public cases about how they exploited their relationships with kids. This is very common in churches. It's very common in families, and nobody wants to talk about it, guys, but we kind of need to be the voice for those kids and to help educate the families on what the real risks are. A lot of families just don't see it coming, and then it happens. It happened in a very close situation to a family very dear to me, a place where I almost had my kids in care, and it was discovered that a man had been molesting his 7 daughters, and it was a family that I never would have seen it coming. But apparently there were some warning signs. So Mariah, I'm going to address that here with you really quick. So if for some reason you're attacked and the strap is used against you, you can use it. You can't get to your own gun, Kubotan, or pepper spray, and then you can't unclip the strap and fight back. Fair enough. That is true. But that is not a situation that happens very frequently. If you are a gun owner especially, usually your situational awareness is going to be a lot higher than your typical person. The wearable holster part means it's less likely to be stolen from you. Could that situation still happen? Yes. But with the breakaway system, with our pepper spray and Kubotan and things like that, you do have a way to fight back. So I'm going to walk you through that with the other products that come with the booster kits, okay? Because we should be teaching, a woman shouldn't only be carrying a gun for her safety. She should be carrying multiple layers of protection, because the last resort is the gun. And I know you went to the same gun instructor I did, so I know that you know this. And I know that you adhere to that too. But there are a lot of options, and if somebody doesn't like a crossbody, we've got other purses, or maybe carrying their gun in a purse isn't the right thing for them. This is probably one of the most hotly debated things that I ever come across with our products is people in their concealed carry purses. I had to delete a comment off my YouTube channel of somebody that went after me about that, and I give it back to them at this point, because you know what? If that's your choice, great. If it's not your choice, then don't carry it in a purse. But if you want to carry it in a purse, we've got some great options, and women are usually really happy to know the options that we have. The only thing I don't like about a purse that like sits on the shoulder, and I do love our covert carries and stuff, but if it's sitting on the shoulder, you're more likely to set it down, and you're more likely to put stuff in it that makes it a lot heavier, to where you're gonna set it down and potentially be out of your control. I guess as a mom of 2, my biggest thoughts are I want to make sure I'm still in control of my purse at all times, and if I'm going through Walmart, if it's strapped to my front, it's going to be staying right there versus getting set down in a cart or something where it could be stolen. Yeah, I don't carry my purse all the time either. I really do prefer to carry on body, but I love the option of having it in my purse when I'm in an outfit where it's not an option for me to be carrying it on body. And there's a lot of holster options and things for women on the market. I will say this, there is a lot of demand for our concealed carry. There's a lot of demand for concealed carry purses in general. So we can't let our personal opinions of this sometimes cloud what we're offering to our customers, but everybody has that option. And a purse in general, if a crossbody purses are hugely popular, whether they're ours or not. So we need to really teach our customers how to layer their protection, so that if they are wearing a crossbody and that strap gets used against them, they still have a way to access their tools, which brings us to the booster kits. Okay, so let's talk about the booster kits. We'll talk about the business supplies here too. I've got a pile of those here in front of me. So the $30 booster kit is primarily for people in states, and I'm going to say this really excited, like Michigan, here in a few days, where stun guns are still not something you can sell, but pepper spray is an option to add, because you're a state like Illinois or Michigan is about to be, because the laws in Michigan are about to change, where pepper sprays will be allowed, and we can sell them up there, which is super exciting. So in that booster pack comes 4 pepper sprays in the basic pepper spray booster kit. 4 pepper sprays, 2 pouches, and 2 hardcores. If you are getting a pepper spray booster pack, or if you're getting the pack that has the pepper sprays and the stun guns, it's super important that you know how to change out the pepper sprays. All the pepper sprays, when they come, are in sealed up packages, and they will come with live pepper sprays in them. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how to make them safe to demo. So on the hardcores, when you take it out of the package, the bottoms pop off of them. Be really careful. Take the inert pepper or the live pepper spray, make it so that it will slide down through that hole, and gently push on the plastic to slide out the inert canister. This is one of my other inerts. This is a Damsel inert. The inert goes up and in, it slides over, and then you can pop the bottom back onto it for an inert. Okay, so for the pouches, you can just open the pouch, take out the live pepper spray, and put in the inert pepper spray. Then they are safe for customers to handle. When they come, because you get the same number of inerts in the package. Inerts means water pepper spray. It's not real pepper spray. It's just water. There's no pepper component to the fake sprays. It's hard to say that. The inert, that's what they're called, inert pepper sprays, inert practice sprays that come in the kit. You can demo them at your Warrior workshops, which is great, but it is water that has a slight pink tint to it. So don't spray these against white stuff. Don't spray them against white walls. Don't spray them on light colored carpet because they will stain. It does have a slight pink dye to it. Important that you know how to demo a pepper spray properly for customers. The biggest advantage to our pepper sprays is they work in a bad situation where a lot of pepper sprays don't. What makes ours different? Well, a lot of pepper sprays come with a big chunk of plastic right here across the top. In a bad situation, a woman goes to use it and she makes contact with the plastic instead of making contact with the actuator, the little button that pushes down into the canister that makes it spray. So in order to use it, locked is over here, unlocked it stops where it should spray, and you need to push and spray it out. I'm showing you with my thumb because this is the right way to spray a pepper spray. They need to make sure their fingers are not in front of it, hands are down, and they push here to make it come out. Now, the biggest mistake most women make with pepper spray is they push here on the back of the lever. That's going to cause it to spurt and not spray the full 16 feet that our pepper sprays go. Putting your finger on the top of the actuator, pushing the button straight down into the canister is what makes them go the distance. Important that you educate your customers on the right and wrong way to spray pepper spray. And when you're doing Warrior workshops, you'll figure it out pretty quick. Okay? So that is the hardcore pepper spray. The pouch is the same way. I sell a lot more hardcores than pouches because the pouch is that extra step. They have to unclip the top of the pouch to flip it open to spray it. Whereas this is just flip and shoot. But it is personal preference. We do sell them both ways, and the pouches are super pretty. So let your customers make that decision. But for people that can, hardcore flip, shoot, done. Yay! Bad guy. Bye-bye. Ours are the, one of the hottest pepper sprays on the market. They are. You can read the language on that. And one of the perks to your go-to guide is that you get all these wonderful product cards that walk you through the specs on all of the products. So we know that you don't get all of the products in your kit, but you at least get a card to be able to show people, and all of the details for that product is listed on the back. So these product cards can be really valuable when you're first learning the products. Key selling points to our pepper sprays is they have the bright red orange dye that you can see where it's hitting when you spray somebody, and it also has an invisible UV dye built into it that can have the bad guy glowing under a black light for the police for up to a week later. It depends on his hygiene. People say, why? Well, it actually stains the skin. It cannot be washed off, but it can be exfoliated off because they actually have to lose skin cells in order for that dye to go away. So you end up with trace amounts usually in eyebrows, eyelashes, places where they don't necessarily rub or exfoliate the UV dye off as quickly. But skin cells do naturally slough off, so it doesn't last forever. It just stains the skin cells that are there at the time. And it is invisible. It does only glow under a black light. Our pepper spray is so hot, though, that if you hit somebody in the eyes with it, there's a good chance that they're actually going to have blistering on their eyes. This stuff is not stuff to mess with. It is not a joke. This is the real stuff, and it's so hot, it does the job, okay? And it's spray and get away. You don't stand around. You call the police. Good chance the idiot's still stumbling around in a parking lot because he can't see to get out of the parking lot. So, good stuff. Well, nasty stuff, really, but good stuff. In that booster pack, there also comes the breakaway. So I do recommend that you put together a set because this is how you want to sell stuff to people. Now, when we were talking about that crossbody purse, the breakaway is super important part of whether they buy a pepper spray, whether they buy a Kubotan, or whether they buy both, which is what I recommend. They need the breakaway so they have fast access to their product, that they can break it away and have their stuff in their hand. So this is that somebody wants to grab your purse, somebody wants to grab you. If they're that close, break it off, hit them with it. So you can strike with this to make them go away or to get distance, and you can use this if they're approaching you. But having access to it, super important. They need both. This is for up close, this is for further away, or if they've gotten them away from themselves, and then they can spray them to shut them down completely. But the breakaway should be sold with every pepper spray and every Kubotan, and hopefully as a set. If you set up your stuff like this and you teach people the advantages to having it like this, the keychain bundle, I know it's not in the catalog, it's done as the pouch, but it can be this way. You just have to enter it in the system, each product, because the keychain bundle automatically comes with the pouch. But I sell keychain bundles all the time. You will sell them this way if you promote them this way. I can't tell you the last time I sold just a pepper spray. I think it was during a catalog party where people just ordered pepper sprays because they didn't understand the value of the whole set. So you get 4 of those, you get 2 breakaways, set them up as bundles so people can see them. That is very important, and understand the value. Women do buy our products. They throw them in their purses, which are huge. They go to the bottom of their purses. They can't find them when they need them. I actually used to do something at parties where I'd say, okay, who here has pepper spray? And people, I would have to go, oh, I do. And I go, great, get it. And I would time them. The longest it ever took was one woman who I timed at 4.5 minutes. And eventually she just ended up dumping her purse out on the floor out of frustration and said, oh gosh, I must have left it at home. In a bad situation, people do not have time to say, hold on, Mr. Bad Guy, I've got something in my purse I could use against you. You need to wait, because that ain't going to happen, guys. Okay? So having access to their products or their keys even can make a big difference. So super important that it's set up, that if they're only carrying a Kubotan, that they've got that right there on a breakaway. Same thing with the pepper spray, it needs to be on a breakaway. If you just tell people they need a breakaway with everything, guess what they'll get? They'll get a breakaway with everything. You're the expert. Okay, so let's talk through the stun gun real quick, because I think it's super important that you understand it and how it works if you've got the stun gun booster pack. If you have somebody that's joining the company and they are in an area where they're eligible, I strongly recommend that they get the full booster pack. Why? We don't make commission on kits, guys. We don't get anything if they get the booster pack, but they're set up in business a whole lot better than if they didn't have it. So they come in, you need to get them charged, right? They need to be charged. You guys are gonna laugh your butts off at me, but my pin for my stun gun isn't right here because I don't keep them, when I display the box, I don't keep them right there. Hold on. I know I have, this is your customers too. They may not have a pin. You guys can go ahead and laugh at me all you want. I might have to pause and come right back. Crap. That just when I think I've got everything together for something like this. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. All right, stun gun. Important to know that the camera needs, yeah, laugh at me. So the pin needs to go in, but the pin clicks in. People set it there and they think that's enough. It's not. It clicks in. You have to hear the click. Okay? Hear it? Push it in all the way till it clicks. Does need to be charged. They do have power meters on the bottom of them, guys, okay? So you can see how charged they are. When they come in, just give them a good 8 hours charge. Comes with its own charging system, but if you have an Android phone or micro USB, any charger will do. Super bright flashlight. I love the flashlights in our stun guns. Flashlight alone can be a deterrent to crime if you did not know that. A flashlight, if you are out in a parking lot and you have the ability to see what's around you, are less likely to be attacked because they don't like to be seen before they grab you. The other advantage of it is you can shine it up into their eyes and temporarily blind them, which is, again, another advantage to having a stun gun. I like my flashlight attached to a stun gun and inside of it because then, if somebody's giving me the heebie-jeebies, one more little click on that and then I can make them go away because that sound alone, I'm like, I'm the crazy lady in the parking lot with fire in my hand. I don't care. I want to be safe. And that if that sound alone can stop somebody from approaching me, I'll fire it off all day long. And you need your customers to kind of have that attitude too. You will never sell one of these to a woman who does not hold it, zap it, and understand that that's not scary. People assume that these things vibrate. They assume that you're going to feel a shock off of it. They assume all kinds of things about this until they hold it, and then they go, oh, that's not bad. Or maybe they'll the first time, but then you say, hit it again. And they hit it again. And they go, oh, that's not bad. That's kind of cool. Works great as a deterrent from a distance. From a distance, it's, you better leave me alone. They're going to think this thing fires out probes because they got all kinds of misconceptions about it. It does not, and I hope you guys at least know that. But if they come up close to me, too close, I'm going to touch them with it. It's an electrical current. It hurts really, really bad. It is a pain compliance tool. Guys, do not sell these to your customers and tell them it's going to drop them. It probably won't. Because if all they can do is get a quick tap just hurts. It does not make them flop on the ground or fall down or anything like that. And if that's your customer's expectation, you're going to disappoint them and they're going to be scared to death if they ever have to use it. A quick tap just hurts, makes them go, oh, I don't want to be near you. If they're holding on to you and you touch them with this, the current does not transfer from body to body. Whoever's touching the metal on the top of this thing when it's is who gets stunned. So you want to make sure it's not you. You want to touch them. I was attacked in a parking lot in my early 20s. If I had one of these things in my hand when the guy grabbed me, if he'd have wrapped me up, all I would have had to do is touch him with it. And he would have let go of me because that's usually what happens. You can touch them on their hands. You can touch them on the arm. If you have the opportunity to hit them, I tell everybody that buys one, do not play from here up. If they want to take this thing home and play with it, because dude, the husbands do this all the time. We'll see if it works. Don't hit anyone from here up unless you're not playing. If you're playing, do not go from here up, okay? It can have a little bit different effect from here up, and we don't want to do that playing. So arms, legs, core, what happens is it causes the muscles to contract. If you hit them in the core, they're going to double over. If you hit them in the leg and you can hold it there long enough, you're going to cause lactic acid to build up in that muscle, causes the contraction. The leg will go drop out from underneath them. But you do have to hold it to them for a period of time to get the physiological effects of what it could do. Dude, this thing hurts so bad, nobody's going to be touching you for that long. That's the reality for most of your customers. Now, what could happen is you tap them with it, they go, ow, that hurt, and they want to take it away from you. Pin pops out, it is now disabled, and it cannot be turned and used against you. Do not missell this product. Make certain that your customers have a realistic expectation of what it can and what it cannot do. And if you are in doubt, the lid has instructions on how it should be used and how it works. Do not missell the stun guns. Okay? Stun gun 101. Does have a holster, has its charging system. I'm going to put this pin back in the box so I don't lose it again. Okay. Do stun guns work? Absolutely they do. Do they make bad people go away? Absolutely they do. Do they stop crimes from happening? Absolutely they do. Will they make him drop on the floor and flop like a fish? Probably not, because you're probably not going to get it to hold it to him long enough to make it create that effect. Because it hurts so bad, they want to get away from you. How a stun gun works. All of the stun guns. Although, the striking distance, which doesn't come in the kit, if they grab a hold of that, they lose control of the muscles in their hands, and there's a good chance you could hold it to them long enough that maybe get some physiological effects because they're going to have that current running through and they can't let go. So, that is a possibility. But again, pain compliance tool. That's how these things work. So that's your stun gun. Read your instructions. Know what your product will do. Know what it will not do, and do not missell it. Okay. Oh, that's pretty much the products that come in the packages and the booster kits. Let's talk about what's in the booster kit. If you can read your go-to guide, you can do a Empower Hour. This does not really cover warrior workshops. But there's a lot of great stuff in the front of this go-to guide. Most people never read it, okay? Lots and lots of great information, including how to fill out an order form, which comes in your kit. The newer order forms look like this. They're the size of the go-to guide. So lots of space to write. People complained our other ones were too small, so we made them bigger. For people like me with failing eyes, sure appreciate that. So the go-to guide will literally walk you through how, once you get through all of the stuff that they put in the front that they feel is pertinent information that you really should read. This will literally walk you through how to do a party. Like, talks you through how to prepare and what to do, which is great. And then it will also walk you through the statistics. Statistics are important. Why? Not for fear-mongering, but so that people understand what the reality is that we're fighting against and what we're doing as a company and why we do it. Okay? I'm not going to get into how to do an Empower Hour in this video, but if you can read this, you can pretty much do it, because on the front is a picture of your customers see, and on the back is information about the company. I will say, don't get too hung up on making that perfect. You want to use this as a guideline, but do it as you, okay? And walk them through your favorite products, because that's how you're going to be able to be passionate about it. Just show them what you love and how it works, okay? Which I kind of just walked you through how the products work, right? So I will be doing, as a part of this training, more of an Empower Hour and walking you through how to do that. But that's your go-to guide, which can guide you through that. You get your order forms. And you get invitations, which are important. Invitations. People need to feel invited to parties. Invitations do that. Whether you use the ones that we do or you create something that the hostess can hand out, people need to know that the hostess really does want to have them show up. Having them post a Facebook event and invite their nearest and dearest 500 friends doesn't make them think, I want these people to show up. We'll talk about that some other time. I talk about that a lot of details. Your catalogs. The most important thing you can do with all of your business supplies is make sure that you have labels on them. You can order labels through Promo and Print, or I buy mine off Amazon. I'm happy to post the link for you. I buy a box of 3,000. I used to be able to get them for like $6. The price on them's gone up. They're like 9 or 10 now. 3,000. I use an Avery spreadsheet that's on their website that they let me use for free, and I create my own labels. I literally print a box of 3,000 at a time. Why? Because in my early days, I would print like 3 or 4 sheets, and then I would get a bunch more catalogs in, and I'd put it off till the last minute. I'd forget that I needed labels, and then I'd have to sit down and print them in a hurry, which didn't always happen. Mariah, that is a great question. How do I respond to people who criticize the stun gun because they own a firearm? I'm a gun girl. The last thing in the world I ever want to do is need to use my gun. I can walk out into a parking lot with my stun gun in my hand as a flashlight and fire off a warning shot if I would like. If they have a firearm, they can't walk into a parking lot brandishing their weapon and shoot a shot into the air. Doesn't work that way. Not every situation calls for deadly force. We are required as gun owners to shut down a situation with less than lethal force if we can. The only time we're allowed to use our guns is if we are truly facing life-threatening situation. If you have a stun gun and it's in your hand and you can shut down the situation, great. Then you have that as an option. But if you're a gun owner and your backup is a gun, well, if they take away your stun gun and you're fearing for your life, then you can pull your gun. But up until that point, just because you have the hackles on your neck go up or you're feeling creeped out does not mean that you can have a gun. So a stun gun is a great alternative, and I have a lot of gun-loving friends that this is absolutely their philosophy too. Same thing with a pepper spray, same thing with a Kubotan. You need layers of protection in your life, and if a gun is all you're counting on, as Steve Farmer likes to say, if all you carry is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. You do not want to face that battle in court, and you really, truly don't want to have to shoot somebody if you don't have to. So having alternatives is exactly what you need in your life, because you need options, and a gun can't be the only one. Does that help, Mariah? Because I live this, I talk this, I breathe this stuff to people, and I work gun shows. And at those gun shows, I had that conversation a lot with people. Oh, I got a gun. Great, so do I. I also have this, this, and this, because I never want to need to use my gun. And if somebody says, oh, I can't wait to use my gun, I go, wow, you're going to have quite a battle in court if the time comes you ever actually shoot somebody. I don't ever want to have to do that. I would love to know that I can shut down every situation with less than lethal force if I can. It just depends on the mentality of the person you're talking to. If they're so gun-minded that they can't be safety-minded, probably not somebody you even want to be talking to. If they are so safety-minded, though, they'll understand why they need multiple products to cover themselves. I love my flashlight and my stun gun. I love knowing that I have it right there. I love knowing that I can potentially stop something without ever needing my Glock. That's powerful. So let me know if that helps. I'll check the comments here in a second. So labels are important. Make sure everything that leaves your hands is labeled. Make sure that you have your information on it. I do recommend that you have your name, your phone number, your email address, your website. And for me, I even have my Facebook page on there because I tell people, hey, go like my Facebook page. I post a lot of great information. And so people can go there. If I have all that, they have the options for how they're going to contact me. Some people call me. Some people text me. Some people email me. Some people just go straight to my website and place orders. Either way, I'm pretty happy, but I want all of that information on there just so that they have every option of being able to get a hold of me. Make sure you use labels on everything. Okay? You also have join guides, which walk people through. I love these things because they have the comp plan in them. They have the Stunning Start program in them. They have about the company incentives and who we are as a company. You get these in your kit. You know, talk to people about what a great company Damsel is. If you think you're too new to recruit, you're wrong. Brand new people, hours long into this company, recruit people. It is then the responsibility of their mentor, who just got them in, to help coach them as well. I'm doing this as an overall series to help everyone to get the same baseline training because I understand that some of you guys might have been recruited by people who didn't know as much. And that's okay because I want everybody to feel like they're starting from the same place. And if I can walk you through the kit and help you to understand your products and be able to better sell them and better demo them, well, we all benefit because you are helping people to be safer because you have a good understanding of what's going on. It's a win-win, okay? What else comes in the kit that you guys need to know about? When it comes to placing your first order, please talk to somebody before you click submit on that. We can really walk you through that. And I'm going to do a virtual office walkthrough. And there is already a great video in the training portal about how to place an order. And there's also information in your go-to guide that talks to you about how to place orders. It is important that you know how to properly calculate sales tax and shipping. On every order that you place, there is a $5 shipping charge for it to ship. On top of the $5 shipping charge, there is a 5%. The way I explain it to customers, it makes it sound, because it is super cheap and super easy, especially if they're party people and they're used to what some companies charge, is it's 50 cents on every $10 that they spend to have it shipped. It's really not that much. If you are in Ohio, which I know a lot of you guys are, one thing important to know is that Ohio taxes your shipping. So figure out the cost of their products plus shipping and then add the tax to it and the numbers are going to come out right. The other thing to know about shipping is if they want it shipped individually straight to their home, if they go to your website, they order it, it's going to be the $5 plus 5%. But if you're doing a party order, that $5 is for the whole party, whether it's $10 or $1,000, and then the 5%. So if you are doing a party, one easy way to do that is to charge each guest $1 plus 5%, because then it splits up the cost of that $5 and it doesn't have to come out of the hostess's pocket or your pocket. This is kind of important. I know when you first get started, you don't want to spend a lot of money. A lot of times for my hostesses, I will just cover that $5 fee. But I know when I first got started, I charged each customer that came to the party $1 plus 5%. It took care of that, and nobody had, the $5 was split up amongst everybody, and it makes it super easy. So, I'm trying to think of anything else. That's basically the kit, okay? I don't want this live to be on forever. Just wanted to kind of walk you guys through the kit and help you to understand what comes in the kit and also the details on those products. So hopefully this was helpful. If you have a new person that doesn't necessarily know what to do with the stuff in the kit, great. Here's a great video you can share with them. Tag them in it. If you are even established pro and maybe you haven't been around the products for a while, we've updated them. Hey, here's some new information on some of our products. And if you are, maybe you're a pro and you never knew this stuff about the products, well, yay, win-win-win for everybody, okay? I am here to help you all. And if anybody has any questions, please. The one thing I love about this training is a lot of you are starting to reach out to me more. And that's what I'm here for, okay? I am here to help you. This is my full-time job. This is what I do. So if I can help you guys, please reach out. And reach out to your mentors and reach out to your sponsors. And if they don't know this stuff, tag them, okay? I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Bye.